Welcome to Math 110. This is an online course. My name is Mr. Lewis, and I'm going to be your instructor for this semester. One thing I'm just be honest here. I'm going to scare you right now. I need to tell you the truth. This course is not easy. All right. Before I do anything else, you need to understand this course is not easy. You have a lot of things that you are going to have to do. You're going to have to maintain some sort of calendar or something in order for you to stay on track in this course. If you are a procrastinator and you like to turn in things and do things at the last minute, you will probably be kicked out of this class within the next 3 weeks. All right? Because you're not going to be able to keep up. Again, this is not to scare you. I'm telling you a simple fact. You are going to work in this class if you are wanting to pass this class. Now, here's the other fact. Even though this is an online course and you don't have me personally to help you physically, I am going to do my best to try to help you through these videos like you see right now, because you're going to see a lot of videos like this. I'm going to try to talk to you personally and let you know what's going on and such and how to do the topics that we're covering. And hopefully that's going to be beneficial to you. So I'm not leaving you out in the open where you're just floundering around and you have no idea what's going on. The other thing is I'm hoping that I can try to be as approachable as you possibly can. Again, it's a whole lot different with an online course because you can only really email me and you never get that real one-on-one interaction like you normally do with a real teacher. But maybe you like that. I don't know. So that's kind of the deal right now. One, you're going to have to be on point. And two, you're just going to have to work hard. All right. And if you do those two things, I'll go ahead and guarantee you'll probably pass. Now, what you'll pass with is a different story. Okay. And here's the reason why I say that. Everybody has different levels of mathematic ability. If you work hard and you work so hard and all you get is a D, you need to be proud of that D. All right. If you are lazy and you make a B in this class and you were lazy, then you need to be ashamed of yourself because you could have got an A. All right. I am more interested in your work ethic because the harder you work, that means that you're trying to learn something. And generally, I will work with you. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that just because I like you, I'm going to give you an A. You can hang that up. But anyway, that's a little bit about what's getting ready to happen. Like I said, try not to scare you. These are simple facts. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and start talking about what this course is. So what I'm actually going to do, before I cut to the computer here, I want to let you know what's about to happen. In this video, I am going to walk you through the setup of how to start this class. And I'm going to walk you through every little thing that I possibly can. All right, I'm going to walk you through the syllabus and all that good stuff. And by the end of this video, if you do exactly like I said, you should be on track and you should be able to keep going and do what you need to do for this course. All right, so that's my goal. So let's go ahead and cut to the computer camera and let's talk about things. All right, so this should be what you see right now, and from your screen, it's basically your main Moodle entry. Now, for what you're going to do for me is, if you want, you can watch, do like a split screen, and you can watch this video on one half of your computer, and you can watch, look at your Moodle on the other half. That's fine, whatever. If you don't even know what I just said, well, don't pay attention. All right, now, what I do want you to pay attention is this. I'm literally going to walk you through all of the different things that I need you to do basically right now. So, how to get started in this online class. First off, where it says attendance quiz completion required by February 13th, you have to get this done or you will be dropped from this course. So I'm going to tell you right now, I want you to pause this video, click on the attendance quiz and take the quiz. Do it now. It's common sense. It's about 5 questions. It shouldn't even take you but just a few moments. It should be an easy 100. Do that right now. I'll wait here and pick my nose. All right. Hopefully you just did like I told you to. Now, the next thing I want you to do is course syllabus. I want you to pause the video and print this out, okay? And we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to talk about the syllabus quiz. So I'll wait for you. Hopefully you've done what I've asked you to. You've printed it out. So I'm just going to highlight a few things right here. You're in Math 110. Course description. We're learning math. Required resources. You do need a textbook, okay? The only reason why you're required to have a textbook on the online course is because there's some good information that you could use that you may not be able to get from me directly, just because the nature of online. It is kind of like a self-learning thing. Get you a calculator. The best calculator I recommend is a TI-30X. I think it's about 15-20 bucks. You are going to get my math lab. We'll talk about that in a minute. And you need use of a scanner. You are going to be doing a lot of work for me. You're going to be writing things down, and you're going to have to scan it, and you're going to have to submit it to me. All right? And I'll show you how that works here soon. Course objectives, you're learning math. Attendance, your attendance is primarily based upon your work, okay? You are supposed to turn in assignments to me. If you do not turn in those assignments, you can be withdrawn from the class. Now, these dates may be different or good for you depending on what semester you're in. Just to be honest with you, this is a video that I'm keeping for all my semesters. So don't pay attention to these dates that are currently on my screen. Pay attention to the dates that are on your syllabus, okay? So it might be slightly different. Just be aware of that. But this is important. If you miss a total of any 5 assignments, that means any 5. It don't matter whether it's labs or test, combination, whatever those 5 assignments are, you will be withdrawn from this course. And if you miss a total of 2 tests, only 2 tests, you will be withdrawn, okay? So you need to, this is what I was talking about earlier. You're going to have to pay attention to what you're doing and pay attention to the due dates. It is imperative. Your grading, I will let you read through this, okay? Make sure you go through that. All right, now extra credit. There is no extra credit. I don't believe in it. I do believe in you working to get the grade you want, but I don't believe in extra credit. However, there will be some points available to you for your final exam, but we'll talk about that near the end of the semester. All right, now, the next thing is you're going to be using Moodle, which you're already doing, and Moodle, you're going to be turning in some things, and I could read through this, but I'm actually going to show you what I'm talking about here, actually through Moodle in a few more minutes, but I would suggest you kind of read through this to let you know what's going on. Again, I tell you that you're going to need a scanner, okay? You've got to have a scanner. Now, you don't have to have one personally. You got access to one at the library. And you also have if you've got a smartphone, there's an app that you can get. If you've got an Apple or an Android, you can get what's called Cam Scanner. I'll show you that too. All right, the other thing is my math lab. And the biggest thing that we're going to talk about right now is that your homework will be done through my math lab. And you have tests that will be done with my math lab. And we'll go about that here a little bit too, and we'll sign you up for that in a few minutes. And then testing. Testing, I'm going to talk about that here in just a few moments. So we'll save that. But the last thing I want to mention is about the final exam. Everything that you do in this course is online except the final exam. You are going to have to be on campus or at an approved proctored location. All right. I'm going to give you a heads up about 2 weeks before the end of the semester, and we're going to kind of figure out where we need to be or anything like that. And the dates that you're going to end up being testing is May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Now, I will tell you this. If you already are planning to be out of town during these times and you can't be at PCC, you need to tell me as soon as possible so we can get you fixed up for where you can take that test. And we'll talk more about that as the semester ends. Other information, you can read through that. It's just a bunch of other stuff that I don't feel like I really want to talk about. Now, So hopefully you have printed out the course syllabus. My suggestion is you kind of go through it. After that, pause the video right now and take the syllabus quiz. I'll wait. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is setting up my math lab. So what we're going to do is we are going to click this, and it's going to give you to this page, and it says to register for your class. It says go to this website, register, blah blah blah, and then it says enter your instructor's course ID. Now notice that I have blanked out this course ID in this video because every class has a different course ID, and I just don't want you using the wrong ID. So you're going to have to go to Moodle and click on this link to get your correct course ID. All right, because I have blanked it out in this video. Now, once you have that course ID, what you are going to do is you are going to go to Pearson by clicking on that link, and it opens it up in another page. All right. So I'm going to do two things. First off, I'm going to talk to people who have never had Pearson My Math Lab before, okay? Also, this includes, if you were just getting out of the DMAs, you may have been in My Math Lab in the DMAs. Well, here's the thing. This My Math Lab is different than the ones you used in the DMAs. So you do not have an account with Pearson if you've just now got out of the DMAs. So you're going to have to register as a new student. Now, so on the side, next to the smiling woman here, we see register, need access, start here, click student. All right. So it says, do you have these three things? Email, course ID, and the access code or a credit card. All right. So email, I would prefer you to be able to use your student email at Pitt. I would prefer that. But if you don't even know that and you've got an email, I'm just not going to argue with it at this point. All right, course ID. Well, you got that while ago from Moodle, okay? It was the piece that I blanked out. The access code or the credit card or a credit card. Well, the access code you can get one or two ways, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. All right, so it says, okay, register now. And now it's asking for your course ID. Well, put the course ID in. Again, I've blanked it out because I want you to get that off of that Moodle. All right, hit continue. And it says sign in with your Pearson account or create a Pearson account. Well, if you don't have one, hit create. All right, and now we're going to put in a bunch of information. All right, after you filled out all your information, make sure you hit I accept the license agreement. You can read through it like you're supposed to, but I never do. Then it says I want to help improve Pearson products. You can if you want. I'm not going to click it. Just be aware that your password that it's requiring you to do has some few rules in it. And now you hit enter, and this is something from me that says not now. Okay. Once you hit next, it's going to bring you up to this part. All right. It says select an option, use an access code, or use the credit card or payment. All right. Now, there's also a third option, which I'll show you in just a second. All right, so use an access code. If you have already been to the bookstore and you have bought an access code for this class, all right, this is where you would put it. You would go access code, and then it gives you all this long thing. And what it is if you got it from the bookstore, they should have given you a card, like a little letter card or something, and it's got inside this long code. All right, now let's say you don't have that. You can use a credit card or PayPal. All right, so you would click this, and it pulls up your information that it's asking for. Gives it a second, and it wants all your credit card information. Once you fill it in, you hit review, buy, whole 9 yards, and you're good. Okay. Now, let's say for the sake of argument that at this moment in time, your money has not come in from financial aid, which is a very distinct possibility. You can do this. look down here. It says waiting for financial aid. Get temporary access without payment for 14 days. You would click this link, and then it's going to say, are you sure you want temporary access? Hit yes. All right. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to get into My Math Lab from 14 days from the time you started this. And that gives you plenty of time to come up with the money in order for you to pay for this. All right. So going back into all of this to make sure you understand what was going on. For those of you who have never been in My Math Lab before, or you just got out of the DMAs and you're going into a new My Math Lab, you sign up for it like I showed you a while ago. You get all through it, and then you come up to this option. Either A, you use the access code that you may have bought from the bookstore. B, you use a credit card, all right, or your debit card, and you buy it outright for $100. Or C, if you don't have money and you're waiting on your financial aid, hit the temporary access, which is down here at the bottom. You got those three options that are available to you. All right, so we're back at the main screen next to the smiling woman. So for those of you who never registered before, we've already talked about. Now we're going to talk about those of you who are taking this class for a second time or whatever, or you've taken another class that's used this before. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit sign in. All right, it's going to ask for your password and username. So hopefully whenever you took this class, if you've taken it within the past year, you still remember your sign-in name and your password. So once you've done that, hit sign in, and now you come to a screen that looks something like this. This part really means nothing. You just hit do not show again, hit close. All right, and you should have a screen that's very similar to this, and it's asking you to enroll in a course. So type in enroll, and now it goes through the exact same process as you had before. It wants your course ID, which I've blanked out for you. You hit continue. And now it's asking you for access code. It's asking you to use a credit card, and it gives you temporary access. And this applies just like it did last time. If you've already got an access code, then you're good. If you used a credit card, you're good. And if you've got temporary access, you can do it that way. Now, there are some of you who may have taken this class last semester, and for whatever reason, you left that class and you didn't finish it. So your access code should still be good. So when you go to register for this class, it should just automatically sign you up. So if you had this class about a year ago, because those access codes are usually good for about 1 year, then you should automatically be enrolled in that course, and you don't have to worry about anything. It just automatically updates. All right. However, if you were in this course a year and a half ago, you're going to have to buy a new access code. Now let's talk about the Moodle submission. All right. Let's just go ahead and click on it. So Moodle submission. This right here, we're going to do a little practice and we'll walk you through it. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. You've got several assignments that you're going to have to do for me. One of those things is what we call guided notes. Guided notes are literally where you will watch a video and you will have a set of notes that I provide for you. And as you watch that video, you're going to fill out those notes. Once you complete it, you're going to turn it in through Moodle. All right, so that's one type of submission that you'll be doing. Another type of assignment is the lab. You're going to have about 4 of those. Those labs are usually where we take mathematics and we put them in like a real world situation. Okay, and again, you have to turn it in through Moodle. And lastly is really important, it's the show your work form. Okay, this is done for your test. You will have 5 module tests that will be taken online through My Math Lab. But as you're taking that test, you're going to be filling out a form that's basically it's like a blank test sheet, and you're going to be putting your work up there. And when you're done taking your test, you're going to scan that work to me. And you want to do this because My Math Lab only grades whether you got the question right or wrong. It doesn't grade on all the thought processes that you may have been going through in your brain. So, case in point, I have actually seen a person go from a 50 to a 75, go up by 25. I actually had to go, well, actually one time I had to go up to 80, go up by 30 points because I saw their work and everything that they did was right except for one little tiny thing at the very end. So you want to do your show your work because you may end up getting some partial credit. And I want you to know this, just because you turn in your form doesn't mean you will get partial credit. It's not a guarantee. It depends on your work, okay? And this big thing that I've got here is like your work on your form should match your answers on your My Math Lab test. If not, I may assume you're trying to cheat. All right. So if you got the question wrong on My Math Lab, and let's say the answer that you put on My Math Lab was 4, but the answer was 300, and all of a sudden your show your work form has 300, well, there's a problem there, in my opinion. Something's happening, and I might be assuming that you're doing something wrong. Just be aware of that. Now, there is some other things that you need to be reading through this. I'm just going to kind of highlight some stuff. In order about the guided notes, it's basically a 0 or 100 just about. You need to turn them in and they need to be completed. Your labs, you got to show your work in order to get full credit, all right? I will grade those labs, and the same thing with your show your work. Like I said a while ago, I will plan on regrading your test, and whatever grade you may have received on My Math Lab might not be your real grade, okay? So that's why it's so important to turn that show your work form in. Now, here's the thing. When you go to do this, it has to be legible. If I can't read it, I'm not going to grade it, all right? And when you go to save your work, what you're going to have to do is after you fill out your form, whatever assignment it might be, whether it's my notes, whether it's the labs, or whether it's to show your work form, you're going to have to get to a scanner, and you're going to have to scan it as a Word document or a PDF, and I only want it as one document. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. And listen, there's some options. If you don't have a scanner at your house, one, you can install what's called the CAM scanner, and you can use that on your phone. I believe it works for both. It works for both Androids and Apples. And so if you don't like that, and I've actually provided you a link here using CAM Scanner. You can click on that link and it's going to tell you all about what you need to know. It just kind of walks you through it. I'll let you read that on your own. Now the other stuff about the Moodle submission, going back to it, is if you can't get CAM Scanner, you may have to pay out of pocket. You may end up having to go to some place like the Office Depot. You don't have a choice. Pictures from your phone or camera will not be accepted. In other words, if you took a picture of it and then you tried to send that to me, I'm not going to take it. I want it as a Word document or a PDF, okay? I know I sound horrible, but quite frankly, this is the way the world works. You have requirements, you've got to meet them, all right? Now, the other thing is you do have access. I thought I had it up here, but apparently I don't. You do have access to the scanners at the library at Pitt, so you can go there. So the thing is, you're going to have to find out what's best for you in order for you to find a scanner and get this work turned into me. You're going to have to do it. Once you've got it scanned, you're going to have to submit it to me through a link that I provide on Moodle, which I'll show you here in just a moment as an example, and I'll kind of run you through the process. I suggest that you try to turn in your assignments early, even though the due date may be 2 weeks away, especially for your guided notes. Go ahead and get them done and just turn them in and you'll be fine. It's better to turn it in early, and if something happens where something weird occurred, we'll fix the problem. All right, now here's the other thing. Assignments will not be accepted if they are sent to my email account. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to figure this out. Okay, I'm being very blunt with you. I'm here to help you. I'm going to try to walk you through as much as I possibly can. But ultimately, you're going to have to do exactly as I need it, because it is a pain to try to email 500, grade 500 different emails. It's much easier and much faster for me to have this through Moodle. And you will appreciate it in the long run. You'll get a faster turnover work-wise. All right, now, here's the thing. This one right here is something that you're to print out. It says fill out the following. It asks you for your full name, your signature, and your address. So what your job is right now essentially is to print out this form. Okay, print this out, and what we're going to do is I'm kind of going to tell you what's happening. So you should have at this point in time have this printed out. Okay, you've printed it out, you've read through it. Now, look at what it says, and this is important. I'm working you through this first thing, but from here on out, all your other stuff, you're on your own. You're going to have to be able to figure some of this stuff out on your own. It says next, very here. It says right, whoops, where's the camera? There it goes, right there. It says next, scan all of these pages. All right, so when you print this out, your job is to sign it just like I did right here, and you're going to have to scan it. And again, like I said, you got multiple options for you to scan it. So, all truth and honesty, I'm not going to really accept, well, I can't get a hold of a scanner. You've decided to take an online course. This is part of an online course. You're going to have to turn your work in digitally. If you don't like that, again, and this is the only class that's available, you're going to have to do it. Okay, I'm telling you the truth. So like I said, you can get that cam scanner, which I show you. Matter of fact, I use cam scanner. It's actually very intuitive. It's not that hard. If you go to the school, if you are in a bind or whatever, you can go to Office Depot. I don't suggest that. If you got the opportunity, go to the school and make sure you're turning this stuff early. So going back to this, you've got it. Now you've scanned it. So now what do? Well, once you've got it scanned, you need to have it in your computer so that you can upload it to Moodle. So now we'll cut back to the computer and show you how to upload it to Moodle. So you've done your assignment, you've scanned it, you've got it in your computer system somehow. Doesn't matter how you did it, but you've got it in your computer, so you've got it saved somewhere. And now you need to use the actual submission link. Before you go to this Moodle submission link, look at your file and double check it to make sure it's right. So we're going to open it up. So here's my file. I've done what the instructions said. I've scanned both pages like the instructions said. I've signed and I've done everything down at the bottom. So, and it's legible. And et cetera, it's fine, it's good to go. So now my job is to go to the Moodle submission practice for this particular place. Don't worry about the due date. If your due date is different than what you see on my screen, it's just because this is an old video. So, but rules still apply. Now, once you click it, it's going to give you this. Hit Add Submission. Now, you can drag and drop files. So like for me, I know where it is. I can simply just drag it over here. And bam, all I have to do is hit Save Changes and I'm done. That's it. And then I can pretty much done. Everything's turned in. Everything is wonderful. And now that it's turned in, once I get it, I'll grade it, okay? And that's really all this is. The hardest part that you are going to have to remember is getting it scanned somehow. And I know that might be hard for some of you, but that's going to be probably the toughest part. Once you get in, it's just a matter of clicking it and hitting submit. All right, now I'm done talking about submission practice. As I've told you before, you're going to be watching videos, which is off of my YouTube channel. Objective 5, these are some book stuff that you can do. You're not required to do this. It's just for extra practice. Read this. You are not required to do this. Here's a bunch of other junk. Now, let's go ahead and start trying to get this video to an end because I know you're tired of listening to me for a moment. So let's just kind of show you Module 1. This is going to be a lot. Oh, Lord, look at all that stuff. All right, so let's go through it one step at a time. Module 1 formula sheet. Look at what it says. Print it out. You're going to need it for your homework and your test. Okay, just print it out so you've got it. Then you have these notes. All right, so these are those guided video notes. Here is your very first one. It's due on February 8th. So what you're going to do is you're going to click it. It's going to pull it up. Your job is to print this out. Once you print it out, you are going to watch the corresponding video. This first video is 47 minutes long. Yes, you're scratching your head like, I got to watch 47 minutes. Yep, you sure do. And I don't have much pity for you. Sorry. I know that sounds bad, but trust me. I try to make these videos as much as entertaining as possible. So just do the best you can and you will be fine. Now, so here it is. I'm not going to play this video. Matter of fact, that was a funny looking face I had. And so you literally will see me teach. I'm teaching to you directly. All right, so once you've done that, you've watched the video, you've filled in my notes. Well, here's that submission link. Click it. Those notes, you scan it however you got to do, and then you submit it by Thursday, February 2nd. Okay, as for this particular case, February 8th, according to this one. Again, this date might not be you because I'm using this video a couple of different times. All right, so make sure you are aware of the dates. I've got them right here for you, and I said it not once but twice. You have to get them in by these days. Notice it's pretty much every other day. You're going to be busy. I mean, this is not a class that you're just going to be able to sit around and wait till the last minute to do things. You're going to have to be on point. Now, here's a good thing. Let's say you have no life like Mr. Lewis does. You can actually watch all of these videos whenever you want, and you can actually turn them all in at the same time as long as you get it done before the dates. So you set your pace, all right? You set your pace and when you want to turn these notes in as long as you get it in by my due date. All right, now, my Math Lab homework, your first ones are going to be open. Here's your link to my Math Lab. You go to my Math Lab, you look for those assignments that are due, and you do those homeworks. Those homeworks are unlimited, and you can continue doing it, and there is no reason for you to get anything less than a 100 on your homework. All right, labs. Okay, it's again, same situation. Here's the lab. You click it, you print it off, just like this. Print it off. You can work with groups. If you got people, for instance, if you know somebody in this class that is also taking the same class, y'all can get together and work in a group of 3. I don't mind that. It's fine. But you're going to have to submit it individually. Each one of you will have to submit it through this submission link here. All right. Practice test. Just like it sounds. It's a practice test. The practice test has about 55, 60 questions. It's not required for you to do it, but it is good practice. And I will tell you this, there's a reason why I'm encouraging you to take it, because that's what I pull your test from. If you've got that practice down pat, then you're going to be fine come test day. All right, speaking of test day, we're almost to the end. It says that the very first test will be available in the following days. Long story short, you have 4 days to take the test, okay? Again, these dates may not be the same as what your dates are, but that's okay. It's just a video we're using. All right, now, I do it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Here's the reason. Some people work the weekend, some people don't. So I try to do a 4-day spread to give everybody the chance to take the test. Now, remember this. In order to take your test, you must make a 70% or higher on each of this module Math Lab homework. Okay, so all the assignments that you've got to do, not the assignments, but just the My Math Lab homework, okay? In this case, it's going to be 1 through 4. You have to have a 70 or higher on each one of them in order to take this test, all right? Now, it's your choice on when you want to take it, okay? You can take it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I don't care when you take it as long as you do take it. Now, the last thing I want to talk about Module 1 is that when you're taking the test, do not forget you need to show your work, okay? Please print the following form to show your work for your test. You must turn this in by Friday, February 19th at 11:55 p.m. What's happening here? So, like I told you before, you're going to print this form out first. As you can see, it's just a bunch of blank boxes. Your test, your module test will consist of no more than 20 questions for me. More than likely, I mean, no more than 20. Those 20 questions, when you're taking that test on my math lab, that's the form you're going to show your work on. I mean, that's why we call it show your work form. All right, once you've done that, again, just like everything else I do in this class, your job is to scan it and then turn it in through this submission link, and it will cut off by 19th. Now, I've said this before, if you show me work that doesn't match what you did in your test, I'm probably going to assume you're cheating. Also, be aware that just because you're giving me your work does not guarantee that your grade will improve. I'm not going to give you points just to give you points, okay? I'm going to look to see at what you know. But, like I said, we'll tell you this. Generally, on average, most people who show their work for me can go up about 5 to 10 points. That's a whole letter grade. So you may have got an F on the test, but once you show me your work, you may actually have a D, or vice versa. I have people who might be making C's who should be getting B's. You get the idea. It is imperative that you show this form to me because it actually lets me see what you really know. All right, so going back over this one more time, you have a lot of video notes that you're going to watch. Look at these due dates. Stay on time with them. Remember, if you miss 5 assignments, and that includes these videos, you will be dropped from the course. You have homework. Homework will be open until the 19th. You've got to get those assignments done. Otherwise, you may be dropped from the course. Make sure that your assignments are at least a 70% or higher in order for you to be even eligible to take the first test. All right. So basically, I believe I've covered everything that you currently need to know to help you right now. And I'm pretty much content with that. You see these other things that are not available, well, don't worry about it. These are the next modules. As Module 1 draws to a close, I'm going to open up Module 2, etc., until the end. You are on a time crunch. I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to have to stay on schedule. If you don't, you will fall behind. I'll do my best to try to help you where I can. Please email me, and like I told you, I'm really bad with emails. I think I told you that anyway, but please email me. I don't normally don't normally respond back to emails on the weekend, but I will by the next available day. I'll try to check it because some of you will be testing on Saturday and Sunday. Listen, I will tell you this. If something happens where your computer crashes and you were taking the test on Saturday and Sunday, you don't need to worry about it. Please don't stress out. We'll fix the problem, okay? You don't let anything like that worry you. If you got issues, you let me know and I'll work with you. And that's pretty much it, guys. This video's gone longer than I had hoped, but I believe that this should help you at least get started. And I'm glad to have you in my class. I hope you haven't left me because there was a lot of information here. And stick with me. I'll guarantee you'll do fine. All right. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.